In the quiet of the evening, a whirlwind veiled beckons you to a realm where stories unfurl like the petals of a night bloom. As dusk embraces the earth, allow yourself to sink into the comfort of your surroundings, releasing the tether of day's end. Inhale the calm, exhale the haste, and feel your senses awaken to the gentle touch of imagination's embrace. Here, in the soft glow of dreamlight, tales of courage, mystery, and magic come alive, whispering secrets of worlds beyond. Each word, a step on a journey to the heart of wonder, carries you closer to a land where dreams and reality dance in harmony. Let the tapestry of voices lull you into a tranquil slumber, promising adventures that await in the canvas of your dreams. Good night, traveler, and may your dreams be a gateway to extraordinary tales. The Labyrinth of the Minotaur, Echoes of the Ancient. Chapter 1. Descent into darkness. In the shadow of an ancient, craggy mountain lies the village of Eldoria, a place as old as the legends that haunt its people. Unlike these tales, winds clouded her way back into the minds and hearts of its inhabitants with a ferocity unmatched in living memory. A legend of the Minotaur, a beast with an unimaginable terror, for generations, the labyrinth had been nothing more than a story to frighten children into obedience. Yet recent disappearances and strange adult roars echoing through the night had turned the tale into a nightmare of flesh and blood. Doria's enters, draped in robes as ancient as their burdened expressions, gathered the village at the break of dawn, their voices cutting through the morning's chill. The message was clear. A hero must venture into the labyrinth, confront the beast, and end a train of terror. Whispers of fear, and I spat among the crowd as a figure stepped forward, a warrior of renown named Alexos, whose exploits were sung by bards across the land. His armor gleamed under the rising sun, a beacon of hope in the face of encroaching despair. Enter the labyrinth, Alexos declared, his voice steady, betraying none of the apprehension that gnawed at his resolve. I will face the Minotaur, and by my hand, peace shall return to Eldoria. The village erupted in a mixture of cheers and sobs, the relief of the moment tinged with the heavy weight of the task ahead. As the day bled into evening, preparations were made. Alexios was adorned with the finest weapons and armor the village could offer, each piece blessed by the village seer. Her ancient chants, a plea to the gods for protection and victory. Under the cloak of night, Alexios stood before the labyrinth's entrance, a gaping maw on the mountainside that seemed to devour the light. With only a sword at his side and a torch to guide his way, he stepped into the darkness, the air around him growing colder with each step. Behind him, the entrance vanished, as if the labyrinth itself had swallowed him whole, leaving no trace of the world he knew behind. The path ahead twisted and turned, and gentle puzzle of stone and shadow. Alexios pressed on, guided by the faint echoes of the Minotaur's roars. Each step a dance with death in the darkness. The labyrinth was a living thing, its wells pulsing with a malevolent energy, as if it sought to confuse and ensnare him with its endless corridors and dead ends. Yet amidst the darkness there was light, not just the flickering flame of his torch, but the light of discovery. For as Alexios ventured deeper, he uncovered carvings on the ancient stone walls, scenes of a time long forgotten, of a people who worshipped the stars and feared the night. These carvings spoke of the labyrinth not as a prison for a beast, but as a sanctuary for something far greater, a secret buried in the heart of the mountain. With each step, the legend of the Minotaur unraveled, revealing not a monster, but a guardian of a truth too powerful to be set free. The realization weighed heavily on Alexios. His quest no longer a simple tale of hero versus beast, but a journey into the very depths of the ancient world's mysteries. As the first rays of dawn began to pierce the darkness of the labyrinth, a red seal standing before a grand chamber, the roars of the Minotaur echoing off its walls, a call to battle that could not be ignored. With sword, and all unresolved steeled, he stepped into the light, ready to face the guardian of the labyrinth. Uncover the truth of the ancient prison that held something far more ancient and terrifying than the beast itself. As the echo of Alexios' footsteps melded with the silence of the ancient corridors, the labyrinth began to reveal its true nature. The walls seeming the mart pulsed with a life of their own, their ancient stones whispering secrets of ages past. With each turn, the air grew thicker, as if the very essence of the place sought to choke the courage from his heart. The torch in Alexios' hand flickered, casting shadows that danced like spiders upon the walls. These shadows seemed to mock his progress, elongating and twisting into grotesque shapes that mirrored the fears gnawing at his resolve. As Alexios pressed on, driven by a determination that was as much a part of him as the blade he wielded. Labyrinth was a master of deception, its pathways forking and twisting in maddening patterns. What seemed like progress one moment led to dead ends the next, each turn a test of will unlit. It was in these moments of uncertainty that Alexios found his thoughts drifting to the villages of Eldoria, their faces etched with the pain of loss, what might bring an end to their suffering. As hours melded into what felt like days, the first of the labyrinth's challenges emerged from the shadows. A chasm split the path ahead, its depths lost to darkness. The only way across was a narrow bridge, its stone cracked and worn by time. As Alexios approached, the air around him stirred, and from the abyss, voices whispered, each one a plea for help, a cry of despair from those who had fallen before him. With a steadying breath, Alexios stepped onto the bridge, each foot full of prayer to the gods that it would hold. Halfway across, the whispers grew louder, a cacophony of voices that sought to drown his thoughts in fear. For 'twas then that the bridge trembled, stones loosening under his weight. But with a leap fueled by desperation and courage, Alpsias reached the safety of the opposite side. The voices silenced as the chasm swallowed the remnants of the bridge. Your ordeal had been a test, not just of physical prowess, but of mental fortitude. The labyrinth, it seemed, was not merely a prison of stone, but of mind and spirit. And it was in this realization that Alexius understood the true nature of his journey. This was not a path of conquest, but of understanding. A quest to uncover the truths hidden within the heart of the labyrinths and within himself. Pressing forward, the corridors began to change. The oppressive claustrophobia of the narrow passages giving way to vast, open chambers. These rooms were filled with ancient artifacts, each piece a testament to the civilization that had once thrived within these walls. Weapons of exquisite craftsmanship lay beside tools of unknown purpose, their forms strange and intricate. Murals adorned the walls, their vibrant colors undimmed by the passage of time, depicting scenes of harmony between the people and the celestial bodies they worshipped. It was in these chambers that Alexios found brief respite, the beauty and mystery of the artifacts of balm to his weary soul. Yet, he could not linger. The roars of the Minotaur echoed in the distance, a reminder of the task at hand and the beasts that lay in wait. With renewed purpose, Alexios ventured deeper into the labyrinth, each step taking him closer to the heart of the ancient structure and the guardian that dwelled within. The path that lay before him was fraught with danger. But within his heart, a flame of determination glowed bright, illuminating the darkness of the unknown it awaited. The labyrinth seemed to breathe with a life of its own, the air pulsating with the echoes of those who had traversed its corridors before Alexios. Each step forward was a step into the unknown, the weight of history pressing against him like a physical force. The walls, etched with the stories of a civilization long forgotten, held secrets that whispered on the edge of comprehension. In this part of the labyrinth, the air was thick with the scent of ancient earth, the stones underfoot worn smooth, the centuries of passage. Here, the murals depicted not just the harmony between the people and the heavens, but also their descent into chaos, scenes of conflict, of a society tearing itself apart, were frozen in time, a stark contrast to the peace that had once reigned. It was amid these depictions of turmoil that Alexios found the next challenge laid out by the labyrinth, a room sealed by a door of stone, upon which was inscribed a riddle. The words written in the tongue of the ancients glowed faintly in the tornade, a puzzle that demanded to be solved for passage to be granted. The guardian of night that sees without sight, fly without wings, through darkness and light. Speak my name, and look him away, or remain in silence, forever to stay. Alexius pondered the riddle, his mind racing through the possibilities. His gaze fell upon the murals, seeking a clue amongst the tales of gods and men. It was then that he understood the answer was not a god or a hero, but something far simpler, a creature revered and feared in equal measure. The owl, a symbol of wisdom and protector in the night. With a voice steady and clear, Alexio spoke deep and serene to the silence. Yowl. The ground trembled beneath his feet as the stone door receded, granting passage to the chambers beyond. This victory, though minor in the grand scheme of his quest, bolstered his spirits, a reminder its strength lay not just in arm, but in the mind as well. Beyond the door lay a network of tunnels that descended deeper into the mountain's heart. Here, the air grew colder, the darkness deeper. A torch in Alexis's hand cast long shadows, the light flickering the date scenes of a great catastrophe, of a sky filled with fire and a land rent asunder. These are the final days of the ancient civilization, their world collapsing around them. And yet, amidst the chaos depicted on the walls, there was a thread of hope. The people looked not to the heavens for salvation, but within, to the depths of the labyrinth itself. It was here. The mural suggested that they had sought to contain a power too great for the world above, a force that could either save or destroy them. The realization struck Alexius with the force of a physical blow. The Labyrinth was not merely a prison for the Minotaur, but a sanctuary for something far more ancient and powerful. The beast, with its roars that shook over the very foundations of the mountain, was but a guardian, tasked with protecting the secret buried at the heart of the maze. With each step, the echoes of the past grew louder, the weight of the truth heavier. Alexius knew that the path ahead would test him in ways he could not yet imagine. Yet, within him, the flame of curiosity burned brighter than the fear of the unknown. He was no longer just a hero on a quest to save his village, but a seeker of truth, determined to uncover the mysteries of the labyrinth and the edge of power withheld within its depths. Deeper into the labyrinth, while the air was laden with the weight of untold stories. The walls here were not just stone, but repositories of memory, holding within them the whispers of the past. These whispers coalesced into voices, ethereal and elusive, guiding Alexios through the darkness with tales of the labyrinth, its creation, and purpose. The labyrinth, as the voices recounted, was born of necessity, a monumental undertaking by the ancients to contain a force that threatened the very fabric of existence. This force, no benevolent, no malevolent, simply was an essence of power so vast that its mere presence could warp reality. The ancients, in their wisdom and desperation, sought to harness and contain it, not for power, but for preservation. So Alexius listened to the voices, the path before him illuminated by a faint and unloving height. He came upon a chamber unlike any other. The chamber was a vast circular expanse, the ceiling lost to shadows, with a mosaic covering the floor. The mosaic depicted the heavens and the earth in a dance of creation and destruction. The labyrinth at its center, a bind that held the chaos at bay. At the chamber's heart stood a pedestal upon which rested an orb of crystal, its surface swirling with a light that pulsed like a living heartbeat. The voices fell silent, and Alexius approached, drawn by a force he could neither explain nor resist. As his hand touched the crystal, visions flooded his mind, not of his own life, but of the canons, their struggles, their sacrifices, and the ultimate decision to see the essence within the labyrinth. It could reach so this. The vision released him, leaving Alexius staggered but enlightened. The labyrinth was more than a prism. It was a crucible, a testament to the ancients' ingenuity and their respect for the natural order. The Minotaur, then, was not a beast to be slain, but a guardian to be understood, its existence intertwined with the labyrinth's purpose. Renewed by this revelation, Alexius continued his journey with a sense of reverence. The labyrinth was no longer a place of fear and darkness, but a sanctum of wisdom and light. He realized that his quest was not to conquer, but to comprehend, to align himself with the ancient purpose that had shaped the very stones he walked upon. A path now lead to the heart of the labyrinth where the essence was sealed. The air grew warmer, charged with an energy that seemed to vibrate against his skin. The walls pulsed with a golden light, guiding him to the final challenge that awaited. As he approached the heart, the roars of the Minotaur grew louder, a sound that no longer spoke of menace, but of a solemn deity. Alexios understood that the confrontation he faced was not a battle of swords, but a trial of wills. He was to prove himself not as a conqueror, but as a guardian worthy to stand alongside the Minotaur in the protection of the ancient secret. With each step, Alexios shed the mantle of the hero he had been, embracing the role of seeker he was meant to become. The labyrinth had transformed him not through trials of flesh and blood, but through the revelations of the spirit and the mind. As he stood at the threshold of the heart, ready to face the guardian in the final test, Alexios was not alone. The whispers of the past surrounded him, the voices of the ancients bearing witness to the culmination of his journey. He was a link in a chain that stretched back through the ages, a steward of a legacy that transcended time. Alexios stood at the threshold of the heart, a labyrinth, the pulsing energy of the ancient essence before him. The chamber was vast, lit by an ethereal glow that emanated from the core, while the essence was sealed. There, in the center of the chamber, stood the Minotaur, its form massive and its bearing an aura of solemnity rather than malice. As Alexios stepped forward, the Minotaur's gaze met in that moment. He understood the true nature of the beast. It was not the monster of legends, but a guardian, his existence bound to the labyrinth and the ancient secret it protected. You who seeks the heart, know this: the essence is not for the taking. It is the balance, the center of all things. To guard, it is to know sacrifice, to understand the weight of eternity. Prove your worth. Pass through combat, through wisdom, and the strength and resolve. The challenge was not a battle of physical strength, but a trial of spirit. Alexius was tasked with solving 3 riddles, each more complex than the last, their answers revealing the depth of his understanding and his readiness to embrace the guardianship of the essence. With each answer, the Minotaur demeanor softened, its respect for Coexio's spelling. The final riddle, however, was a test of sacrifice. Yet can you offer that is of no value to you? But of utmost value to the world? Alexios pondered deeply, realizing the answer lay not in material possessions, but in the willingness to serve a purpose greater than oneself. With humility, he spoke, myself. My service as a guardian, to protect and preserve the balance, just as you have. A silence fell upon the chamber, profound and utterly uncompassing. Then with a nod of acknowledgement, the Minotaur stepped aside, granting Alexius access to the core. But it was not to take the essence, it was to join in its guardianship, to become a protector of the balance that sustained the world. The ancient power acknowledged Alexius as a sacrifice, binding him to the Labyrinth as its new guardian. In that moment, the essence infused him with deep, ancient knowledge that took him to the fabric of the universe in ways he had never imagined. As the ceremony concluded, the Minotaur, though afraid of its eternal duty, passed into legend, leaving Alexius as the Labyrinth's guardian, with the ancient secret safe. The Labyrinth's purpose was fulfilled, its chambers no longer a prison, but a sanctuary of wisdom and balance. In the wake of the Guardian's challenge, Alexios found himself standalone in the heart of the Labyrinth, a same lyra, glow bathing the chamber in a soft, ethereal light. The weight of his new responsibility pressed upon him, not as a burden, but as a solemn honor, a duty to protect and preserve the balance that the ancients had fought so desperately to maintain. As he contemplated his new role, the Labyrinth itself seemed to acknowledge his guardianship. The walls pulsed with a gentle light, guiding him back to the corridors, not as a maze to confound, but as a path leading to a new beginning. Straps and puzzles that had once tested his resolve were now silent, their purpose fulfilled in the trial of the Guardian's challenge. Upon reaching the entrance chamber, Alexius noticed a change in the Labyrinth. This architecture, a section of the wall, previously solid and unyielding, now glowed with the same ethereal light that had illuminated the heart of the maze. As he approached, the stone began to shift, revealing a door that had remained sealed for millennia, its existence hidden from all who might not pass the Labyrinth's ultimate test. A door opened onto a vista unlike any Alexios had ever seen. Beyond lay a hidden valley, lush and verdant, untouched by time or the turmoil of the outside world. This, he realized, was a Labyrinth's final sanctuary, a sanctuary not just for the essence, but for the knowledge and legacy of the ancients themselves. As he stepped through the door, the air filled with the scent of blooming flowers and the sound of running water. The valley was a paradise, a testament to the ancients. Nestled over the natural world, a reminder of what could be achieved when balance was maintained. In the center of the valley stood a structure, part temple, part archive, its walls covered in carvings that depicted the history of the ancients and the construction of the labyrinth. Here, Alexius understood, was where he would spend his days, not as a prisoner of the labyrinth, but as its steward, safeguarding the wisdom of the past for the future. As he explored the archive, Alexios found scrolls and texts, knowledge of the ancients preserved for generations yet to come. He realized that his role was not only to protect the essence, but to ensure that the lessons of the past were not forgotten, that the balance between creation and destruction was understood and respected. The labyrinth, once a place of fear and danger, was now his home, a sanctuary where he could study the mysteries of the universe and guide those who sought to understand the true nature of existence. The door of the valley remained open, a symbol of the trust placed in him as the guardian, and an invitation to those who would come seeking knowledge and wisdom. As the sun set on his first day as the labyrinth, his guardian, Alexius looked back at the path that had led him here. From the village of Artoia to the heart of the ancient maze, his journey had been one of discovery, not just of the labyrinth's secrets, but of his own capacity for growth and understanding. The labyrinth of the Minotaur, with its traps, puzzles, and guardian, was a myth, a myth, or a challenge to be overcome. It was a legacy, a bridge between the past and future, and Alexius was its keeper. In the silence of the valley, he made a vow to honor the ancients, sacrifice to protect the essence, and to keep the door unsealed for all who sought the truth. With the dawn of a new day, Alexios began his eternal vigil. The labyrinth's echoes of the ancient, now whispers of guidance and wisdom, a voice in darkness, leading towards the light. Chapter 2. Beyond the Minotaur. As the new guardian of the labyrinth, Alexius' duties extended beyond the mere protection of its core essence. The labyrinth was a living testament to the ancients' ingenuity, a complex network that spanned far beyond the chambers and corridors familiar to him. Among these unexplored depths was a section known as the Veil of Shadows, a part of the labyrinth that predated even the oldest myths of the Minotaur. It was said to have been crafted by hands that possessed knowledge, now lost to the sands of time, a place where very air seemed to whisper secrets of a bygone era. With the dawning of a new day, Alexios set forth to explore this ancient section. As he ventured beyond the familiar confines of the labyrinth, he noticed a palpable change in the atmosphere. The air grew cooler, laden with the scent of damp earth and ancient stone. The light from his torch seemed to be swallowed by the darkness, the shadows clinging tightly to the walls as if woven from the fabric of the night itself. The architecture here was markedly different from the rest of the labyrinth. The walls were adorned with intricate carvings that depicted celestial alignments and rituals of power, their meanings obscured by the passage of time. The corridors were narrower, the ceilings higher, as if designed for beings not of this world. It was a place out of time, untouched by the centuries that had passed beyond its confines. As it helped to delve deeper into the veil of shadows, he could feel the weight of history pressing down upon him. The air was thick with the presence of the ancients, their whispers echoing in the darkness, guiding him yet further into the heart of the labyrinth. It was here, in this forgotten place, that the true purpose of Labyrinth began to reveal itself to him. The veil of shadows was not merely a section of the labyrinth, it was a gateway, a bridge between the world of the living and the realm of the ancients. The labyrinth served not only as a prison for the essence, but as a sanctuary for knowledge, a repository of wisdom that the ancients had sought to protect from the ravages of time. Among the shadows, Alexius discovered chambers filled with artifacts of unimaginable age, their purposes as mysterious as the beings who had crafted them. Scrolls written in languages long forgotten lined the shelves of hidden libraries, pages holding the keys to understand the natural forces that governed the universe. It was in one such chamber that Alexius found the Heart of Shadows, a relic of ancient power. The heart was a crystal, much like the one that had shown him the visions of the past, but its surface was as dark as the night sky, absorbing the light from its tonium to its depths. As he approached, the crystal began to pulse, its rhythm slow and deliberate, echoing the heartbeat of the earth itself. The Heart of Shadows spoke to Alexios, its voice a whisper in his mind. Told of the time before the labyrinth, when the world was young and the ancients walked the earth. They had foreseen the coming of an age of darkness, a time when the balance between creation and destruction would be threatened. The labyrinth was their answer to this threat, a safeguard against the forces that sought to unravel the fabric of reality. The heart revealed to Alexios that his role as the guardian was more than just the protector of the essence. He was to be the keeper of the balance, the one who would stand against the darkness when it came. The Veil of Shadows was his training ground, a place where he would learn to harness the ancient powers and prepare for the challenges to come. As the voice of the heart faded, Alexius was left with a sense of purpose like he had never known. The labyrinth had chosen him not just for his strength or his courage, but for his ability to understand and preserve the balance. With the Heart of Shadows as his guide, he would delve deeper into the mysteries of the ancients, ready to face whatever the future might bring. Empowered by the revelations of the Veil of Shadows and guided by the Heart of of the labyrinth is ancient sections. The corridors beyond the veil were littered with relics of the ancients, each artifact a testament to a civilization that had mastered the cosmos, yet remained anchored by its fears. These relics scattered the labyrinth like breadcrumbs from the past, hinted at a truth far grander and more complex than Amlexos had initially perceived. In one chamber, he discovered a celestial orrery, a complex mechanism of rings and spheres that depicted the movements of the heavens. The craftsmanship was exquisite, the metals and stones used in its construction unknown to him. As he turned the orrery, the spheres moved in perfect harmony, mimicking the celestial dance with uncanny accuracy. This device, he realized, was not just an observation. It was a tool for understanding the very fabric of the universe, a guide to navigating the forces that shaped the world. Further along, Alexius found a series of tablets. Their surfaces etched with diagrams and equations that spoke of energies and forces beyond his comprehension. These were ancients' attempts to codify the essence of creation, to harness the powers that lay at the heart of existence. The tablets spoke of the ancients' ambitions to reach beyond the stars, to explore realms unseen and powers untapped. Yet, interwoven with these tales of ambition or warnings of the danger such knowledge could unleash of the shadows that lurked when one dared to tamper with the balance. Among the relics, Alexius discovered a mural depicting Labyrinth's construction. A mural revealed the labyrinth as more than a mere prison for a beast. It was a sanctuary, a bulwark against the darkness that threatened to consume the world. The Minotaur, far from being the sole guardian, was but one part of a larger defense, a sentinel against the encroaching shadows. This revelation was further emphasized by a series of crystalline recordings, each a message from the ancients, preserved for millennia. They spoke of the labyrinth as a project of hope, a creation designed to protect not just the essence, but the very concept of balance. The ancients had foreseen an age where the darkness would rise again, and in their wisdom, they had crafted the labyrinth as a means to preserve the light. One artifact in particular, caught Alexius, a map of ley lines, the energy currents that flowed across the earth. The labyrinth was situated at a nexus point, a place of powerful convergence. This was no coincidence. Ancients had chosen this location to amplify the labyrinth as protective energies, to ensure that the essence would remain shielded from those who would seek to exploit its power. As he pieced together the stories told by these relics, Alexius came to understand the true purpose of the labyrinth. It was a complex multi-frame-minded creation designed to protect, to preserve, and to educate. The ancients had reached for the stars, but in their wisdom, they had recognized the importance of maintaining a balance between ambition and restraint, light and darkness. The labyrinth, with its traps and trials, served not only to deter the unworthy, but to prepare the guardian for the challenges ahead. Each artifact, each relic, was a piece of a larger puzzle, a step on the path to understanding the ancients, on legacy. As the new guardian, it was Umechu's duty to unravel these mysteries, to harness the knowledge and power of the ancients, and to stand ready against the darkness that lay beyond the stars. With each discovery, Alexius felt a growing sense of responsibility and determination. The ancients had entrusted him with a monumental task, but they had also provided him with it. As he delved deeper into the labyrinth, he knew that he was not alone. The wisdom of the ancients was with him, guiding his steps towards the destiny that awaited him. The journey through the labyrinth led Alexios to a grand chamber, unlike any he had encountered before. The room was vast, its ceiling lost to shadows, and at its center stood a puzzle that sprawled across the expanse of the floor. Intricate tiles, arcs bearing symbols and glyphs of ancient origin, formed a complex life that promised both challenge and enlightenment. This was the test of wisdom, a trial designed by the ancients to gauge the understanding and aptitude of those who dared to venture this deep into the labyrinth's heart. The air in the chamber was thick with anticipation, the silence punctuated only by the faint whispers of the past. Alexius stood at the threshold, the weight of his quest pressing upon him. The puzzle before him was a testament to the ancients' mastery over the mysteries of the universe, a challenge that required more than mere intellect to overcome. It demanded insight, an intuitive grasp of the knowledge that the ancients had woven into the very fabric of the labyrinth. Drawing upon the lessons of their relics and the wisdom of the heart of shadows, Alexios stepped forward. He observed the symbols on the tiles, recognizing motifs of celestial bodies, natural elements, and geometric patterns that echoed the principles he had seen on the tablets and the ori. It became clear that the puzzle was not merely a test of logic, but a reflection of the ancients' understanding of the cosmos and their quest for balance. With careful consideration, Alexius began to navigate the puzzle. Each step a calculated move that aligned the tiles and patterns. It mirrored the celestial alignments. The room seemed to respond to his actions, the air vibrating with an unseen energy, as the puzzle steadily yielded to his understanding. It was a dance of mind and spirit, a communion with the ancients that transcended time. As he progressed, the symbols began to resonate with the lessons gleaned from the tablets and the mural. He understood that each element represented a fundamental aspect of the ancients, their recognition of the entire contactness of all things. The solution to the puzzle lay not in imposing order but in chaos, but in understanding the harmony that existed within the apparent disarray. With each correct alignment, the chamber pulsed with light, the tiles glowing with a soft radiance that guided Alexios' path. The final piece of the puzzle clicked into place, a harmonious alignment that encapsulated the essence of the ancients' wisdom. The ground beneath him trembled, and a section of the chamber wall receded, revealing a pathway that had remained hidden from sight. a way forward illuminated by the light of the solved puzzle. As he crossed the threshold into the newly revealed corridor, Alexios felt a profound sense of achievement and humility. The test of wisdom had been more than a mere challenge. It was a rite of passage, an initiation into the deeper mysteries of the labyrinth. He had proven himself worthy of the ancients' legacy, demonstrating not only his intellectual prowess, but his capacity for insight and understanding. The path ahead promised further trials and revelations, but Alexius stepped forward with renewed confidence. He was no longer just a guardian of the labyrinth. He was a student, its disciple, entrusted with the preservation and continuation of the ancients' wisdom. The test of wisdom had literally forward, but had also illuminated the path within, guiding Alexios toward his destiny. As the chamber faded behind him, Alexios embraced the journey ahead, ready to face whatever trials lay in wait, with the wisdom of the ancients as his guide. The labyrinth, with its endless mysteries, new challenges, had become more than a prison or a sanctuary. It was a crucible for transformation, a place for forward and advance. Alexios' journey deeper into the labyrinth led into a serene yet haunting chamber, distinct from any he had traversed thus far. At the heart of this chamber lay the pool of reflection, a mystical body of water but shimmered with an ethereal light, casting the otherworldly glow upon the ancient stone walls. The surface of the pool was as smooth as glass and disturbed by wind or touch. Yet it was not the pool's beauty that held Alexios in thrall, but the promise of the trial it represented. The ancients had designed this trial to be one of introspection and confrontation. It was said that the pool of reflection did not show one's physical appearance, but rather reflected the viewer's innermost fears, their darkest doubts, and the shadows of their soul. To advance, Alexios, he must face whatever visage the pool revealed, confront his own darkness, and accept the truths hidden within himself. With a deep breath, Alexios approached the pool, his heart heavy with anticipation. The air felt charged, thick with the weight of unspoken secrets and unacknowledged fears. As he gazed into the water, the reflection that met his eyes was not his own. Instead, he saw a version of himself twisted by doubt and fear, a figure cloaked in the shadows of what he most dreaded to be needing. A guardian who failed in his duty, who allowed the darkness to consume the light. The reflected Alexios' eyes were hollow, filled with despair and regret. He spoke not with words, but with emotions, a silent communication that resonated deep within Alexios' soul. This specter of fear accused him of inadequacy, of not being strong enough, wise enough, or brave enough to face the challenges ahead. It whispered of inevitable failure, of the darkness that would engulf the world should Alexius falter in his quest. Facing this manifestation of his deepest fears, Alexios felt a surge of despair. The weight of his task, the enormity of the responsibility placed on his shoulders seemed insurmountable. Doubts he had buried deep within began to surface, threatening to overwhelm him. As he stood on the brink of succumbing to despair, a flicker of resolve ignited within him. Alexius realized that this trial was not just about facing his fears. It was about understanding and accepting them. Ancients knew that to wield the light, one must also acknowledge that darkness within. True strength in the absence of fear, but in the courage to confront and embrace it with renewed determination. Alexius spoke to his reflection, acknowledging his fears, but refusing to be defined by them. He accepted the possibility of failure and vowed to continue fighting, to push forward despite the doubts that shadowed his path. As he made this vow, the image in the pool began to change, the shadowy figure dissolving into motes of light that danced upon the water's surface. The pool of reflection grew calm once more, its surface now reflecting a chamber's ethereal light. In facing his fears, Alexius had passed the trial, proving that he possessed the inner strength and courage required to confront the darkness. This realization was a key not only to advancing to the labyrinth, but to understanding the ancient force contained below. The ancients had bound not just a physical darkness, but the very essence of fear and dead knowing that these were the true enemies that threatened to unravel the fabric of the world. As Alexios left the chamber, the pool of reflection behind him, he felt a shift within himself. He was no longer the same man who had entered the labyrinth. He was something more. With each trial, he was being forged into the guardian the ancients had envisioned, one who could stand at the threshold between light and darkness and hold back that threatened to consume all. The path ahead remained fraught with danger, but Alexios now walked it with a deeper understanding of himself and the ancient legacy he was sworn to protect. In depths of the labyrinth, beyond the trials and tribulations that tested his mettle and spirit, Alexios stumbled upon a chamber that pulsed like ancient primal from energy. This was no ordinary room. It was a sanctum, carved from the very heart of the earth, its walls inscribed with runes that shimmered with celestial light. At the center of this hallowed space, manned by chains forged from celestial ore, was an entity that defied death's destination, an ancient deity, forbidden by time, yet pulsated with a power so vast, so vast. Bedtime. Its form was both magnificent and terrifying, a confluence of starlight and shadow, its features ever-shifting, a testament to its nature as a being beyond mortal comprehension. The chains that bound it emitted a soft, ethereal glow, their links inscribed with symbols that spoke of ancient marriages and cosmic measurements that its creators had thwarted. As Alexius approached, a voice filled the chamber, resonant and deep, yet carrying a hint of an indescribable sorrow. The deity spoke not with words, but with thoughts, its voice echoing in the recesses of Alephistor's mind, telling of a time before time, of an epoch when the cosmos was young and creation was but a canvas for the death of the time. This prison, the deity whispered, is but a shadow of the fears of those who created me. They feared my power, the ability to unravel the threads of reality, to reshape the cosmos according to my will. In their fear, they bound me here in the heart of this labyrinth, a guardian of a prison that is both my sanctuary and my cage. The deity's tale was one of sorrow and loneliness, of a being that possessed the power to create and destroy, yet was condemned to an eternity of isolation. It spoke of its creators, beings of immense power and wisdom, who had brought forth the stars and the myriad worlds that danced around them. Then, in their quest for order, they feared the potential for chaos that the deity represented. They saw not its capacity for creation, but its ability to undo all that they had wrought. As Odysseus listened, a profound sense of empathy filled him. Here was a being that, despite its godly nature, was bound by the same fears and doubts that plagued mortals. The deity's chains were not just physical, but symbolic, representing the fears of its creators, and by extension, the fears that resided in the heart of every being. The deity, its gaze turned upon Odysseus, and in that moment, he understood the true purpose of his journey. It was not merely to navigate the labyrinth and to uncover the secrets, but to confront the very essence of fear itself. The labyrinth was a manifestation of the fear of the unknown, of the power that lay beyond comprehension. The deity, in its eternal prison, was both a victim and a custodian of that fear. I am in mind, the deity continued, of the price of fear, of the chains we forge when we allow our fears to govern us. But in you, I sense a different path, a potential to embrace the unknown, to see beyond the fears that bind us. Odysseus realized then that his journey was not just about confronting external threats, but about changing the internal chains that held him back. The deity, despite its balanced state, offered a listening understanding and acceptance, a call to look beyond fear and embrace the potential for creation and change. As he left the chamber, Odysseus carried with him the deity chains, who was a reminder of the power of fear to bind and the strength required to break free. The labyrinth was no longer just a physical journey, a spiritual odyssey, a quest to understand the nature of fear and the potential for liberation that lay in confronting it. The forgotten god, bound in its celestial prison, had become a beacon of hope, a guide to finding the light in the darkest of depths. As Odysseus delved deeper into the mysteries of the labyrinth, the revelations from the forgotten god weighed heavily on his mind. The further he journeyed, the more he uncovered about the true purpose of this ancient construct. Hidden within the labyrinth's stored sectors, he discovered a chamber adorned with celestial imagery in ancient text, its walls telling the story of a pact forged in a time before history, a covenant between the ancients and less. The chamber was a library of sorts, filled with scrolls and tomes that contained the wisdom of eons. As Alexius deciphered the ancient scripts, a tale of cosmic scale unfolded before him. Labyrinth was not merely a prison for the Minotaur or a test of metal for heroes. It was a seal, a buying contract etched into the fabric of the world itself, designed to contain a power so vast that its release could unravel reality. The ancients, with their unparalleled wisdom and mastery over the arcane, had foreseen a cataclysmic event and would stem from the unbridled power of the forgotten god. This deity, with its ability to reshape the cosmos, posed a threat not out of malice, but the sheer potential for change inherent in its nature. Reality, as it was known, could be undone with a mere thought, remade into something unrecognizable, or worse, reduced to the primordial chaos from which it was born. In response, the ancients reached out to celestial beings, architects of the universe, to devise a solution. Together, they crafted the labyrinth, a masterpiece of cosmic engineering that would serve as both a prison and a safeguard. The chains that bound the forgotten god were not just physical, but made of the very essence of the universe, woven from the bonds that held the stars in place and kept the seas from swallowing land. The back was clear. As long as the labyrinth stood, the god would remain contained, and vitality would be preserved. If the god were ever to escape, if the labyrinth, its integrity were compromised, the resulting chaos would tear the fabric of existence apart, returning all to the void. Alexius realized the gravity of his quest. It was not just about slaying a beast or uncovering lost knowledge. He was the guardian of a balance and ensured the continuity of reality itself. The trials he had faced, the wisdom he had acquired, all lead to this moment, preparing him for the ultimate challenge. But knowledge alone was not enough. The understanding that the labyrinth was a pact between the ancients and celestial beings brought with it a profound responsibility. Alexius was now a part of this covenant, a link in the chain that held the forgotten god in place. The realization filled him with a sense of purpose, but also a weighty burden. To fail would mean not just his own demise, but the undoing of all that existed. As he left the chamber, the labyrinth seemed to shift around him, its walls whispering secrets of ages past, its path leading him not just through space, but through the story of creation itself. Alexius walked on with the knowledge of the labyrinth's true purpose, and the resolve to fulfill his role in the ancient pact. The journey ahead was fraught with danger, but Alexius was no longer just a warrior or a seeker of glory. He was a guardian, a protector of the fragile threads that wove reality together. With each step, he carried the hopes of the ancients, the celestial beings, and all of creation on his shoulders, moving ever forward towards the final challenge that awaited him in the heart of the labyrinth. Chapter 3. The Echoes Unbound. In the heart of the labyrinth, beneath the weight of eons, in the gaze of the cosmos itself, and Alexios stood once more before the ancient deity, the forgotten god whose fate was entwined with the reality. The chains that bound it pulsed with a light born from the dawn of creation, each like a testament to the pact between the ancients and celestial beings. Here at the crossroads of destiny, Alexios faced a choice that would define the future of all existence. The Deuce's eyes, vast and endless, held Alexis in their gaze, its voice echoing in the caverns of his mind. You have journeyed far, guardian of the balance. You have seen the threads that bind the cosmos, felt the weight of the chains that hold me. Yeah. You stand at the precipice of choice. Will you free me, risking now none changes my power might bring? Or will you reinforce the bonds that bind me, preserving the order of things as they are? The air around them thickened with anticipation, the very stones of the labyrinth awaiting Alexios' decision. To free the deity was to embrace change, to accept the possibility of a new reality forged in the fires of creation and destruction. It was a path fraught with uncertainty, a gamble with stakes as high as the... On the other hand, to strengthen the deities, bonds was to uphold the status quo, to ensure the stability of the cosmos as it had been for millennia. It was a choice of preservation, of safeguarding the non-universe from the potential chaos that the deity's power could unleash. As Alexios weighed his options, the lessons of the labyrinth echoed in his heart. He had faced trials that tested not only his strength and wit, but his understanding of balance and change. He had seen the beauty of the cosmos reflected in the celestial orrery, felt the weight of history in the pool of reflection, and learned of the sacrifices made by the ancients to preserve reality. In this moment of decision, Alexios realized that the true test was not about choosing between change and stasis, but understanding the nature of balance itself. The labyrinth, with its myriad paths and trials, was a symbol of the journey of existing, ever changing, yet always seeking equilibrium. With a resolve born from his journey, Alexios spoke, his voice resonating in the chamber. I have seen the depths of the past and glimpsed the possibilities of the future. The balance between creation and destruction, order and chaos, is not a chain to be tightened, but a path to be walked. I choose neither to free you nor to bind you further, but to seek a new way, one that honors the wisdom of ancients, while embracing the potential for growth and change. The deity regarded Alexios, a flicker of surprise and respect in its ancient eyes, where choice reflects, and wisdom beyond your years, guardian. To walk the path of balance is to understand the true nature of power. You have proven yourself worthy of the legacy of the ancients and the trust of the celestial beings. The way forward will not be easy, but it is yours to forge. With those words, the chamber began to shift, the chains that bound the deity glowing with a radiant light. They did not tighten nor shatter, but transformed, becoming less like bonds and more like bridges, linking the past and the future in a new equilibrium. Alexios had made his choice. When that did not end the detachment, I'd redefined it, acknowledging the need for both freedom and restraint in the dance of existence. As he left the chamber, the labyrinth itself seemed to acknowledge his decision. Its corridors lighted a new energy, a reflection of the paths he had chosen to walk. A choice was made, but the journey was far from over. Koikshu stepped forward, the echoes of his decision reverberating through the ages. The guardian not just of the labyrinth, but of the delicate balance that held the cosmos together. As Aprecio stepped from the chamber of the ancient deity, his choice set in motion a transformation within the labyrinth that was both terrifying and awe-inspiring. A labyrinth, a construct bound by celestial, and ancient magic, began to react to the newfound balance Alexius had chosen. The very air trembled with power as the ancient bonds, now transformed into bridges between past and future, tested their limits. The ground underfoot shook as if the earth itself was awakening from a deep slumber. Walls that had stood unmoving for millennia gloomed and shifted, creating new paths, while old ones crumbled into dust. The labyrinth was alive, its stone heart beating in rhythm with the cosmic balance Alexius had invoked. The architecture, once rigid and unyielding, now flowed like water, reshaping itself in response to the forces at play. Light flickered through the corridors, casting shadows that danced and twisted, mirroring tumultuous changes within the labyrinth. The air crackled with energy, charged with the potential of creation and destruction in equal measure. This was not mere physical upheaval, but a metaphysical transformation, weaving the fabric of reality itself within the confines of the labyrinth. Alexius moved cautiously, his senses heightened to the shifting environment around him. The path forward was unclear, every step a leap of faith into the unknown. The labyrinth action was a test, not just of physical entrance, but of the mental and spiritual resolve to walk the path of balance he had chosen. As he navigated the changing corridors, Alexius could feel the presence of the ancient deity, its power surging against the transformed bonds, not in anger, but in exploration of its new boundaries. The deity was not a prisoner railing against its chains, but a participant in a grand experiment to find harmony between freedom and restraint. The labyrinth's volcanic reaction was also a reflection of the natural world, where change often came with upheaval, where growth required the breaking of old forms. Alexios understood that to achieve balance, one must navigate the chaos of transformation, embracing the destruction of the old to make way for the new. With every step, the labyrinth seemed to settle, its initial violent reactions becoming less frequent, its new paths solidifying. Alexius had initiated a period of tumult, but now a new order was emerging, one that affected the balance between the ancient and the celestial, the past and the future. In this moment, Alexios realized the true nature of his journey. It was not about conquering a physical maze, but about understanding the labyrinth of existence itself, with all its complexities and contradictions. His journey was a microcosm of the cosmic dance of creation and destruction, a testament to the power of choice and the search for balance. Labyrinth, once a prison for an ancient power, was now a crucible for change, a place where the old was being reshaped into something new. Alachas, at the heart of this transformation, was not just a weakness, but a catalyst. His actions echoed to the stone corridors and to the cosmos. As he continued forward, the labyrinth around him bore little resemblance to the place he had entered. It was neither the prison he had imagined, now then navigated, but a living entity, transformed by the power of choice and the pursuit of balance. Alexius moved through it, not as a hero on a quest to defeat a beast, but as a guardian of the balance that held the universe together, his path unbound by the echoes of his decision. In the newly transformed labyrinth, where the very essence of reality seemed to pulse with a newfound vibrancy, Alexius found himself no longer alone. As he ventured deeper into the heart of the maze, figures began to materialize from the shifting walls, spectral presences that emanated ancient wisdom and a profound sense of sorrow. These were the spirits of the labyrinth's creators, the ancient beings that had forged this place from the raw materials of creation and bound within it an entity they feared. The spirits, ethereal and glowing with intense light, surrounded Alexius in a semi-realm. Their expressions solemn. They are, around with the power of their presence, a testament to their own immense control over the forces of nature and the cosmos. They spoke not with words, but with thoughts that resonated directly in Alexius' mind, a chorus of voices that echoed the depths of time itself. We are the architects of this labyrinth. They began, their collective voice a harmony of regret and wisdom. In our pursuit of knowledge and power, we reached beyond the veil of reality, summoning forces we scarcely understood. Our fear led us to bind what we could not control, creating this prison out of desperation. The spirits moved closer, their forms becoming distinct, revealing the visages of beings not wholly unlike humans, but imbued with the markings of ancient divinity. They wore their history like a cloak, the weight of eons etched into the ethereal features. We have watched from beyond the veil, our consciousness tethered to this place by the bonds we forged. Through your journey, we have seen the possibility of redemption, not just for the deity we imprisoned, but for ourselves. Alexios listened, absorbing the gravity of that confession. The spirits continued, their voices a weave of hope and caution. You stand at the precipice of change, a catalyst for a balance we could not achieve. Our legacy is not this labyrinth, but the possibility of harmony between the boundless and the bounded. You, who have walked these shifting paths, embody the potential to mend what we have broken. The spirits gestured towards the path that lay ahead, a route that shimmered with potential, leading towards the final confrontation. The deity you have freed from its chains is not the monster we feared, but a part of the cosmic balance. But one step remains to fully realize the legacy we leave in your hands. Their forms began to fade, dissipating into the air like mist at dawn, but their final message lingered in Alexia's mind. A labyrinth was our greatest achievement and our gravest error. Through you, it can become a symbol of unity, a bridge between the celestial and the terrestrial. Our role in the legacy of the labyrinth is to forge a new path, one that leads away from fear and towards understanding. As the spirits vanished, Alexius felt a profound sense of connection to the labyrinth and its creators. He understood that his journey was more than a test of courage or strength. It was an opportunity to feel the winds of the past and crave for a future where the ancient world could coexist in harmony. With the guidance of the labyrinth and its creators etched into his heart, Alexios moved forward, each step imbued with the weight of history and the light was of hope. The path ahead was clear, not just a route through the physical maze, but a journey towards the final confrontation. A meeting that would determine the fate of the labyrinth and its place in the world. In this moment, Alexius realized that the legacy of the ancients was not a burden to bear but a gift to be shared. The labyrinth, once a symbol of fear and imprisonment, could become a beacon of unity, a testament to the power of change and the enduring strength of the human spirit. In the heart of the labyrinth, where the fabric of reality seemed thinnest, the air vibrated with the embrace of creation. Alexios found himself standing before the ancient force he'd come to confront. The chamber was vast, its walls inscribed with the celestial script that pulsed with a gentle, otherworldly light. At the center of this chamber was the ancient deity, now unbound, its form shifting between the ethereal and the tangible. The being of pure power and elemental force. This final confrontation was not what Alexius had envisioned when he first entered the labyrinth. There were no drawn swords, no clashing of shields, no physical battle to be fought. Instead, he stood before the deity, armed with nothing but the wisdom, courage, and insights he had gained throughout his journey. The deity spoke, its voice a symphony of resonating with the very essence of existence. You have come far, mortal, further than any before you. You have seen the truth of what I am, not a monster to be feared, but a force of nature, bound by the fears of those who could not understand. Alexius listened, his resolve firm. I have learned much on this journey, he replied, his voice steady. I have seen the errors of the past, the fear that lead to your imprisonment, and the pain it caused. But I have also seen the possibility of a future. Our fear does not dictate our actions. The deity regarded Alexios, a flicker of interest in its ancient eyes. And what future do you propose, mortal? What path lies ahead that does not end in the end of fear? With wisdom and understanding, Alexios said, they can find balance. Your power does not have to be a threat. If we respect it, learn from it. The labyrinth has taught me that strength lies not in dominion or control, but in the courage to face the unknown, to embrace change and seek harmony. The chamber seemed to pulse, the silent approval, the celestial script on the walls glowing brighter. Alexios felt the weight of the moment, standing at the crossroads of history, a chance to mend the rifts of the past and forge a new path forward. The battle of wills and ideals that unfolded was unlike any other. Alexios and a deity engaged in a dialogue that spanned the breadth of existence, through the creation of the cosmos to the nature of fear and the courage. The ritual Alexios wove the insights he had gained, the lessons of the ancients, the spirits of Labyrinth, and just it was a battle fought on the plains of understanding and belief, where each argument and argument reshaped the very essence of the chamber. The ancient force, spanned by chains of fear and misunderstanding, found itself challenged by a vision of coexistence and mutual respect. As the confrontation reached its climax, Alexios realized that the true heart of the maze was not the chamber in which they stood, but the journey that had led her here. The journey of understanding, growth, and in the end, the deity acknowledged the Alexios' wisdom. You have shown me a path, mortal, one I had not seen in the eons of my imprisonment. Perhaps there is hope for a future where our forces are not in opposition, but in harmony. With those words, the chamber transformed once more, the celestial script fading into a soft, comforting light. The ancient force, no longer a deity to be feared, but a partner in the journey towards balance, merged with the fabric of the labyrinth, signaling the dawn of a new era. Alexios emerged from the heart of the maze, not as a conqueror, but as a herald of a future where wisdom, courage, and understanding lead the way. Labyrinth, with a prison, was now a sanctuary, a testament to the power of change and the enduring strength of the human spirit to seek harmony in the face of the unknown. As the dawn broke over the horizon, casting its first light upon the labyrinth, the wave outside felt the reverberations of the events that had unfolded in the heart of the maze. The labyrinth itself, once a symbol of fear and imprisonment, had been transformed. Its walls, which had once stood as barriers, now seemed to welcome those who sought understanding and wisdom. The ancient deity, freed from its chains of fear and misunderstanding, became a guardian of balance, its power no longer a threat, but a beacon for those who wish to know the secrets of the universe. Alexios, standing at the entrance of the transformed labyrinth, contemplated the journey that had led him to this moment. He realized that his actions had not only changed the fate of the labyrinth, but had also set a new course for the world outside. The tales of his journey would be told for generations, a story of courage, wisdom, and the power of understanding to overcome fear. As the new guardian of the labyrinth, Alexios dedicated himself to sharing the lessons he had learned. He welcomed scholars, philosophers, and seekers of truth from all corners of the world, teaching them the secrets of the ancients and the importance of balance between humanity and the forces that shape the universe. The labyrinth became a center of learning and discovery, a place where the barriers between the mortal and the divine were bridged through wisdom and understanding. The ancient deity, now an ally to humanity, shared its knowledge of the cosmos, offering insights into the mysteries of creation and the interconnectedness of all things. Under Alexios' guidance, the labyrinth served as a sanctuary for those who sought to expand their understanding of the world and their place within it. However, the transformation of the labyrinth and its new role in the world did not come without challenges. There were those who feared the change, who clung to the old stories of monsters and imprisonment. Alexios faced opposition from those who could not accept the labyrinth, this new purpose, who saw the ancient deity as freedom as a threat rather than an opportunity for growth. Understanding. But with patience and wisdom, Alexios navigated these challenges, using the very lessons of the labyrinth to foster dialogue and dissipate fear. He showed that true strength lay not in dominion or control, but in the courage to embrace the unknown and seek a harmony in diversity. The hero's decision to free the ancient prisoner and embrace its wisdom had indeed written the story of the labyrinth. And no matter the fear and imprisonment, it became a story of liberation, understanding, and the unbreakable bond between humanity and the cosmos. A labyrinth stood as a testament to the possibility of a future built on the foundations of wisdom, courage, and the relentless pursuit of balance. In the years that followed, the world outside the labyrinth saw a renaissance of thought and understanding. The lessons of the labyrinth, carried forth by those who had walked its paths, inspired a new era of cooperation and harmony among the peoples of the world. The ancient deity once feared was now revered as a symbol of the boundless potential of wisdom, of understanding to transform fear into a force of positive change. Alexios' legacy in that of the labyrinth became a beacon of hope for future generations. A reminder that even the most daunting of challenges can be overcome through the power of wisdom, courage, and understanding. The labyrinth, once a prison, was now a gateway, invited by you who dared to dream of a better world to step forward and embark on their own journey of discovery. In the aftermath of the labyrinth, this transformation, the hero, Alexios, emerged not just as a victor over the ancient trials, but as a beacon of a new era. The labyrinth, once a symbol of fear and entrapment, now stood as a testament to the power of wisdom, courage, and the potential for change. As Alexios stepped beyond its threshold for the last time, he carried with him the weight of his new responsibility. Why then, as the guardian of the ancient deity, or as the liberator of its boundless wisdom, his journey had irrevocably altered the course of history. Alexios's transformation was profound. The Labyrinth had not only tested his physical prowess, but had also challenged his understanding of power, responsibility, and the interlinkedness of all things. Through the trials, he had come to realize that true guardianship was not about maintaining a status quo of fear and suppression, but about fostering growth, understanding, and balance. This epiphany marked his every step, shaping his resolve to ensure that the Labyrinth's lessons would not be lost to time. As the new guardian, Alexios dedicated himself to bridging the gap between the ancient world and the present. He became a custodian of the knowledge and the wisdom that the Labyrinth and its deity had imparted. Under his stewardship, the Labyrinth transformed from a prison into a sanctuary of learning, attracting seekers of knowledge, scholars, and adventurers from across the land. They came not in search of glory or treasure, and in pursuit of deeper truths that the Labyrinth now represented. The legends of the land began to reflect this transformation. Tales of virtues, bravery, and wisdom spread far and wide, inspiring songs, stories, and even scholarly works. But more than the tales of his heroism, it was the stories of his compassion, his willingness to question, and his dedication to understanding that resonated most deeply. Alexios became a symbol of a new way of thinking, one that embraced the complexities of the world and sought harmony between the forces of creation and destruction. The impact of Alexios' journey and the choices he made echoed beyond the confines of the Labyrinth. Communities that once lived in fear of the unknown began to open their doors to the wider world, spurred by the hero's example. Dialogues were initiated between disparate peoples, leading to a blossoming of culture and shared knowledge. The ancient deity, once a source of dread, was now revered as a protector of the balance, a guardian of the threshold between worlds. In becoming the Labyrinth, his own guardian, Alexios had also become a guardian of a future, yet unwritten. He understood that the path he had chosen was not one of isolation but of connection. By integrating the ancient wisdom with the evolving world outside, he forged a legacy that would endure beyond his lifetime. A labyrinth, with its endless corridors and hidden chambers, became a symbol not of entrapment, but of the endless journey of discovery that life represents. As years turned to decades, the labyrinth grew, reality becoming a pivotal nexus for the exchange of ideas, a beacon for those seeking to understand the mysteries of existence. And at the heart of it all stood Alexios, the hero who had traversed the depths of darkness to bring forth a light that illuminated not just the labyrinth, but the world beyond its walls. The legacy found the hero and the labyrinth became intertwined, a shared story of transformation and hope. In the echoes of the Unbound, a new guardian rose, nurturers of the ancient edifice, found every feature while the past was not a chain, but a foundation upon which to build a wall of understanding.